flames.
When you got started in that business, or you're still in it, how much did you spend on marketing? And
so in the beginning, so when I got out of the Army, I think I had like 15 grand. Mm-hmm. And I went down here to the Auto Wrangler and bought one of Jim Bass's old ranch trucks. It was a 1-ton gas 460, mm-hmm. 96 model, I think.
It's like 14,000 to fill it up.
Yeah, no kidding. It did have the 2 tanks in it. Yeah. And then my grandpa, I bought a little utility trailer for my grandpa for like $1,500, man. And mm-hmm. I was like, let's go. Mm-hmm. And I just started cranking them out. But refresh it. What question did you ask me?
Well,
I forgot.
So when you're
marketing.
just how much did you advertise, or how did you start getting your first jobs? And
so I did. Well, it's just word of mouth. Like when we first started here, we were working with T4C also. So mm-hmm. they were giving us a bunch of work. Shay Elkins, who owns T4C, he taught me a ton about the business side of it because I didn't have any idea about any of that stuff, So we kind of partnered with them at first for about a year and learned all that. And then, so majority of our work, 60-40 probably was, doing stuff for T4C, but then also me going out and doing sales.
So you're doing a lot of subcontract work.
Yeah.
At first.
Beginning. Yeah.
I hear a lot of people in construction, that's kind of how they start out. And yeah. Really is kind of the best.
It is. Because you get to learn everything and work out the kinks and actually see the business side of it too.
You kind of get a mentorship.
Yeah.
You get under somebody's wing and they're going to take care of
you.
And
then people see you going around and like, do y'all have a website?
Yeah.
You have a website?
Yeah, Liberty Concrete and Construction.
I've never Googled concrete companies in San Angelo, so I didn't know.
Yeah, no, we've had a website for a long time. And then we got a Facebook page, obviously. But for the first probably 5 or 6 years, I did a ton of radio. Radio was a big thing.
Mm-hmm. Radio was a big thing 10 years ago.
For sure.
When we were going through school, I remember when it was first affordable to get the little H-track with the aux cord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that when you had the headphone jack for your phone and everything wasn't Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And, now, you get a vehicle.
Everything's on a phone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. CD players aren't even put in vehicles anymore.
Mm-mm. No.
And, I remember us getting the backseat of our mom's excursion and us having to have the CD player for our headphones.
Yeah.
And listening to music.
Right.
And, you grab your older brother's music trap, and I'm like, AC/DC? Metallica? Man, this is different from Kids Pop.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No, that's interesting. So a lot of your leads came from radio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of radio. Did a little bit of TV, did some commercials for a while, and then just Facebook and internet, mm-hmm. Did phone book for a long time too. I just quit doing that a couple of years ago.
Book in
they still call me every year. Hey, you want to get back on the phone book?
And they are expensive.
Yeah,
I'll give you a quarter page in our phone book on the back.
Yeah,
and it'll be for only $2,200.
Yeah.
And you're like,
sheesh,
that's a lot.
Yeah, really I'm like, who has a phone book anymore, man? Not many people,
Yeah,
but
that's it. I just find that interesting because I think a lot of people when they start a business, because like I said, I had 15 grand, and you're trying to figure out where to spend it, how to spend it, because some of it has to go to acquisition. Like you got to figure out how to get that next job and how much to spend to get it. And so, do you even do any I know you do some local stuff like local advertising. I've seen.
So I mainly now. I do internet still and do Facebook. Those are probably the two main ones. But then we do, I still do radio stuff but it's more holiday geared towards stuff, mm-hmm. Veterans Day or, 4th of July or different deals where they have, they're like, oh, I'll give you a month, and,
mm-hmm.
and it's, I don't know if it's any cheaper, but it's still just, so I don't do as much radio advertising anymore, but.
And your logo I was was unique too.
Yeah. So the logo is the bomb is the bomb patch. That was my unit patch when we were in Iraq. And then Liberty is I was at Camp Liberty in Baghdad. So that's where I was trying to think of something clever when I started it, like y'all's.
Well, yeah, because I was, everybody's like takes their initials and then adds whatever they do. Like,
I was told after a couple years in business, Sterling and I's first legit business was Gothman Excavation.
Yeah.
And after a couple years, I was told, do not use your name.
Yeah.
And the reason why you're not supposed to use your name is if you ever got big enough and somebody asks to buy you, it's hard to separate because it has your name on it. It has something you're emotionally tied to. Obviously, you're always going to be emotionally tied to it.
Sure.
But I was told by some bigger guys.
Well, and if another company buys it, they don't have to change the name.
Yeah.
So that like whatever theirs is, Yeah.
And so just being able to, and if you do bad work, then your name's not trashed everywhere. But
right. Yeah.
But I would say in marketing itself, people have been pushed so heavily, especially corporately, to go to online sales, get rid of the foot salesman.
Yeah.
And I think we're starting to see the reverse effect of that. Of why is our numbers down? Well, there's no emotional connection.
Yeah.
And
people like to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Man.
They want to be able to. And I told a vendor this the other day. I said, "Man, if I can't have a sit down conversation with you, I don't want to use you."
Well, I've always liked this. Advertise on a macro level digitally and on a micro level personally.
Yeah.
So if like a lot of your work, is like a lot of where your income comes from. Like for us, our circle is, the biggest one is San Angelo, obviously. Yeah. So we're gonna try to take people to lunch, do all the nonprofit stuff, get out in front of people that way. But like, if I can't find every guy in Schleicher County, so I'm gonna try to. Maybe he'll see me on Facebook or
But you guys have talked about that, on previous podcasts too. San Angelo is a big little town and it's a tight community, and everybody talks and everybody knows what's going on and who's doing what, And
surprisingly, now that we've applied for multiple brand dealerships, the first thing they ask us is, "Do you have a website?"
Yeah,
that's like the first thing they ask us. And
do you guys have a website?
Let me check.
Yeah. So, you can check us out at bigcountryequipment.com. Yeah. And so, anyways.
Hold on. Before you roll into this, I got to tell this story. When I first started helping Harrison, it was, like the DBA name is Big Country Equipment.
Yeah.
But the LLC is Big Country Equipment Rentals and Sales LLC.
Yeah.
And I wanted to change it because everything was being advertised as that long deal, right?
Yes.
And you should try putting that all in an email, right? Like Harrison at Big Country Equipment Rentals and Sales.com. That's a lot to type.
Sure.
And then we had the emails at bcrentsandSales.com. And it still was just like, I wanted a simple email,
Yeah.
But we were arguing over whether we should do Big Country Equipment only or the other one. And he fought me tooth and nail on that. He was like, well, how are they going to know we rent equipment if we don't have it in the name? Yeah. How are they going to know we'll sell equipment if we don't have it in the name? I said, they'll figure it out. So they'll figure it out.
Well, what I hated is like I can go Google a vendor. And now you have so many of these acquisitions. Like United Rentals has so many legs to the stool now.
Yeah.
And some of it's not even named.
Yeah.
And so you're going, okay, United. And you call United Rentals and they're like, oh, we won't sell you anything.
Yeah.
And then you go to United, I need a pump. Oh, okay, well, we don't do pumps here.
Yeah.
So now like they've started to dissect this out. Like we only do rentals, we only do pumps, we only do, and they've started putting it in their own sectors.
Yeah.
Well, for us, we were so small.
Everything's for sale.
Everything's for sale. Everything's for rent.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the time.
If I can put parts, service, I can put it all in there. Let the guy go, oh, well, that's handy,
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was funny, though. With
But
you remember arguing with me about that?
we've had so many great arguments.
You argued today. Argued while you were late today.
Yeah, I was over here trying to
Did
sell.
you get anything done?
Yeah, I got 2 wheel loaders done.
By golly.
Yeah,
Checks in the mail?
Checks in the mail. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see you next month. But back on the marketing thing, my big marketing is logos. Putting your logo on the dang machine.
Mhm.
That is the cheapest advertisement.
It is.
But the adverse thing is in construction. You put your logo on a haul truck, or you put your logo on a service truck.
Try to run into you and sue you.
Now that we have such a sue happy society,
Right.
I mean, first thing they're gonna do is, I want that $1 million policy limit.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to. You got to have them out there. You got to have your logos on everything.
Right.
And you see my guys' trucks blowing down the
Mhm.
loop here.
Yeah.
It's a giant bomb on the side of them, and Liberty Concrete, and so
Don't
Maybe
run
that's why I don't run into yours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so that was a big deal. Like, that was a big
Yeah.
branding thing. So,
Mhm.
when we were first getting started and going, and then people see that, like, what the heck is that? And then they start associating, oh, that's a concrete guy. And then every time you see it, you think concrete.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with advertising radio wise. It takes the human brain 90 consecutive days of hearing something before
Mhm.
it is in there, and they
Mhm.
think equipment rental. Oh, Big Country. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, heard them on the
Mhm.
radio the other day. Heard
Mhm.
they just hear it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I need that. Yeah, or
Yeah.
oh, concrete. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Liberty. There we go. I call them.
Yeah, marketing's probably one of the fun things to do as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
Also a very expensive thing to do.
It is.
Yeah.
Very.
Everybody likes a hat, you
Yeah.
know.
You'd be surprised how much
we went-
money we spend on hats.
Oh,
Yeah, we went
that's-
through-
me too.
Several different, types of hats we were going to use.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when we
Everybody
first
wants
started,
a hat, but nobody wants a cheap hat.
yeah, they want
Exactly.
that $25 Richardson.
Yes.
and
Yes.
112.
Yeah.
yeah, that was. You have a really shitty hat though. If no one wants it, you're like, damn it. I gotta get a new batch ordered.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
that goes in the garage sale pile.
yeah. Like magnetic koozies were it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're out of those. Those were expensive to do. Too.
Yeah.
But our advertising was always like I said, it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I was real like when we do it, let's do it right. But also, you kind of want to be like, I don't want to put something out there and it be bad. No one's gonna like it, or I'm gonna get made fun of. How am I gonna be judged by it?
Yeah.
So like even this podcast, like guy told me the other day, he's like, "Oh, you all are famous now." And, I'm like, it's really actually not that hard to upload some videos to Instagram or like, how do you have a Spotify?
Yeah.
But
Gotta have an EIN number, by the way.
Yeah.
EIN number, get
Yeah.
on Spotify.
Yeah.
But
The hardest part is what she's doing in the background over
Yeah.
there. That's the tough
Honestly,
part.
it's harder to start a TikTok shop than
yeah,
a spot.
we're trying to get our account active on the TikTok shop.
I don't even know what TikTok shop is. Man.
So
You can buy stuff off of TikTok,
Yeah.
like
Really?
Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
yeah, so we're trying to get our
Yeah.
hats on the TikTok shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just little stuff like you're like, I mean, it'd be cool that we could make like some money on the hats,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because I was told like 5 years ago or 6 years ago when we made the logo, I was showing guys, what do y'all think? And they're like, it looks like a logo you'd see at like an outfitter,
Yeah.
like because of the mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, maybe we ought to change it. I don't know. And you were like, nope, I love it.
Yeah.
I
Big
think
Country Outfitters 2026.
I think that
Yeah.
I think that's Times New Roman font
Yeah.
on there too.
Yeah.
Like because we were talking about like maybe we should change the font up, and Camden was like, no, it's, how else would you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
so
a
that's
good logo. Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, we like it. Every time I see it, I can just remember Sterling going, the B's backwards because you're dyslexic.